Good afternoon. Welcome to Berardi and Coke from Orta No Better. My background's not working again, so I'm like off to the side here. I'm gonna have to move this camera. It's a bit annoying. It's myself, Jay, joined by good old Pod Dodger Karl, who's not been seen in some time. We had to put some posters out and put him outside of some milk boxes and cartons and stuff. But here he is. How you doing,
mate? In the end, I'm doing all right. I'm a lot better after that result, anyway. That's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Did you see that graphic beforehand about how we'd not won a game there in last 6 or something?
Well, yeah, it was Ross McCormick scored our last winner there.
So that's right.
Now.
Good old 44. Stumped by a garden gate. Right, I'm going to run us an intro and then we'll get into it.
Sound.
Hi, this is Don Matteo, and you are listening to the Orta No Better podcast. Let's do this.
You look like fucking Brolin, you're a Leeds hating bastard. Look
like some sort of fucking weird floating head. No.
The utensil player a bit, innit?
I mean, I feel a bit right, dickhead.
Nothing spectacular, really. Well, can't agree with that today.
Absolutely
not. Do you know what? There were bits that I didn't like, but overall, you just can't be upset, can you? Going there and smashing them scumbags 3-0.
I thought that was very good. Enjoyed it. First 10 minutes, possibly thought they'd sneak a goal.
Yeah, I was worried early doors. I really was worried. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, I thought Pyro was sitting far too deep. I thought there was a serious lack of communication between the midfield and the back four at one point. I thought, Jesus Christ, we need to get that sorted a little bit. And Millwall were very much on top for potentially the first 5-10 minutes of that game. We could have easily found ourselves a goal down if it wasn't for some kind of, I don't know, chaotic defending that worked out well for us in the end.
I'll tell you what, I feared the worst after that first 10 minutes, and I thought we were going to get another Luke Ayling horror show as well.
I tell you what, we get on to Luke Ayling and his horror shows later. That night, man's redeemed himself big time there. Talk about thinking on the ground.
He's got some credit in his bank account again now.
Yeah.
I mean, early doors we did look dodgy. It was sort of anticlimactic because we've had this international break and we've all been excited, thinking we're going to come back now. Farke's going to have more time with them. We're just going to hit the ground running and start blitzing people now, aren't we? I think that's how most of us felt, wasn't it?
And
it didn't start like that.
No, not at all. But I suppose we have to look into the fact that it was a very turmoil-ridden first kind of couple of weeks for Farke. He didn't actually know who was going to be there and who was going to be gone. So you kind of have to look at it in a way where he needed to get a settled squad before he could actually implement everything that he wanted to kind of put across, because he was putting it across to players that still wanted to leave.
Yeah.
And that's not constructive at all.
It's like, how invested are they? You know what I mean? It's like they're saying, "Oh, I want you to do this and this," and then they're nodding their heads like, "Yeah, yes, boss, yeah, we'll do it." Yeah, and they're just thinking, "Yeah, well, I'm going to be gone next week, so."
Yeah, I'm in the process of taking the club to the cleaners if I don't get out.
Exactly.
But look, I think those kind of things now we can put to one side now for the rest of the season and hope that they hold their value and just sack them off next summer. I think there's a lot to be positive about now in that game, an awful amount. I thought, again, it came down I've just a few notes, in the 7th minute, Pascal off the line, but he wouldn't have had to do that if Mez had absolutely cleaned out their centre forward rather than going, this is an easy catch. You take everyone with you, absolutely everyone, and we got lucky with that one.
He got fouled, I think, by that guy, but
he did. Yeah,
he should have been like, I'm taking this at whatever cost, and he doesn't do that, does he? Really, he does tend to get fouled more when he should be the one just cleaning people out and claiming a ball.
Yeah, and look, it's not a criticism of Meslier. I have Jamie here as well. He's commenting, going, Meslier made a couple of great saves, good saves.
He did.
And I'm not taking away from that. It's just observations as well. You know, there was one there where they put a corner in and it came in at the near post and he kind of flapped at it, and only for Rutter was sitting there where the ball, or standing where the ball died. It was a great carry out from him then, you know, but I'm not taking away from Meslier's performance at all. He was very good. He got down well to a couple of really low shots that needed saving, and but it's just those small things that need ironing out that you still see that might give you a bit of
He nearly got caught as well, didn't he? He nearly got caught without his feet a couple of times.
Yeah, he was standing around a lot, I noticed, where he was asking players to come and take the ball, but there was never anyone on, and it's a risky game to run because eventually if we can't find space to receive that pass, like what nearly happened, he's going to get caught out. Like, so
yeah,
those things, like he said in an interview there with LUTV that he's enjoying playing the way Farke wants to play because it's quite similar to the way Bielsa like to play, and that's how he feels comfortable playing football.
Yeah.
So there's a few things like holding on to it a little bit longer than he probably should, you know, but those things will pass as well, you know.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, do you think there's a possibility Meslier is playing for a January move? Like he's trying to show the best of himself to get out, do you think? Or do you think he's committed now that the season's started and it's kind of like, we are where we are, let's crack on?
I think he's just in the headspace now where I'm here for the season now. Whatever happens next summer happens next summer, if he stays or if he goes or whatever. But it seems like he's very much committed, and he did say a lot of the right things in the interview as well, where he felt like he was responsible in a lot of ways for the club going down and his performances being key to some of the results that went against us and whatnot. Like, so for a young player like that to take that kind of weight on his shoulders and to say, look, I'm here because I want to be here or whatever, regardless of whether we rejected bids or there was never any talk of him forcing a move. So I think it's nice to see that he's got a good coach in training who's trying to iron out the few things that needed ironing out, you know.
It definitely looks more assured than he did last season with Marcus Abad coaching him.
Yeah.
I don't think that guy were up to much personally.
No. Look, let's be honest. We're moving forward now, and we've got actual coaches who want to show what it's like to be committed in certain areas of the pitch when you're being brave at the players' feet and stuff like that, you know. But look, at the end of the day, I think a lot of Mez's current form has to do with the players in front of him being consistent. The only one that's changed really in the last maybe 5 games has been Byron because he's been out with an injury.
Yeah.
But
the other 3 have all been there, haven't they?
But this is the thing. Like, I know I banged the drum last year and the year before, and I continue to do it, but it just shows
Is this why you're going to tell us that you know what you're talking about?
Well, sometimes it comes across like I do, Jay, you know, but it just shows that if a keeper has a consistent back line in front of him that he gets an understanding with on a week-to-week basis in the league and on a regular basis in cup games if it needs be, it just shows that the keeper's confidence actually goes up because he's got confidence in the players in front of him that he's not going to have to make 15, 20 key saves a game, maybe 2 or 3. And then everything else is kind of routine after that. Like, so it does bode well for us defensively moving forward, I think, at the moment. Coops is going to struggle to get back in. Yeah,
I think so, yeah. And as he should. You shouldn't ever be able to just walk into a Leeds team.
Well, it's difficult in Coops' kind of scenario now because he's captain, like. That's it'd be different if it was a case that he wasn't captain and he was like expecting to come back in and be like, no, sorry, man. But there is that element of he is our captain, but you still don't break up a back line that's had 2 clean sheets now on the trot.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I mean, 50 odd games, wasn't it?
50 odd games.
A clean sheet or something.
Yeah. So
and like you can't mess with that, can you? You can't mess with that.
No, not at all. I think it'd be foolish to even contemplate changing anything up at the moment. I think Gray has shown that he's very much up to the run of things in midfield. like, I get he's 17 and we can't rely on him or whatever, but as the old saying goes, if you're good enough, you're old enough, and he seems to be fairly good, like, you know. So
He certainly does, yeah.
So let's be honest, I was glad to see the team today hadn't changed from the Sheffield Wednesday game, but I was happy to see that there was rotation between the front two and the two wingers as well.
Yeah.
You found that there was it was a case that you nearly had Somerville playing in 10 at one point and Rutter out wide.
Yeah.
And you can see they're trying to make different partnerships and different combinations of different areas of the pitch and the front line. Like, so it's like, it's a case of everyone getting used to playing with everyone in these particular positions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and the link-up play as well on the edge of the box. We noticed it at the start of the season where it was quite tight in places and it wasn't really coming off. But today, now there was especially in that second half leading up to the was it the first goal, Pyro goal? It was a different level of intricate passing today rather than it was more flicks and whatnot prior to that, where there was no kind of, I hope it gets there, but now there's like precision in their passes and there's, you know, there's more thought gone into them, so to speak.
Yeah. I'm just going to go back to, we were just mentioning the defence and how it's been settled and stuff. I made a note today. Actually, I was semi-professional. I made a couple of notes because, you know what I'm like? I normally forget everything that I've just seen. It goes straight through. And I'm sort of sat here usually like, oh, did he? What? Hey, who? But one of the things that I noted about Rodon was just how composed he is and stuff. Like, he doesn't panic pass. Like, he'll beat a man, he'll take a man on and go around him with the ball and then pick the pass he wants. Like, he's not somebody where the ball comes to him and he's immediately looking to get rid of it. And I think you do sometimes get that with Cooper. He doesn't really want the ball. You know, he gets worried about what he's going to do with it. He looks like he's struggling to find a pass sometimes. And for a while, he kind of seemed to lose that under Bielsa. He seemed to have coached that out of him somehow, but it's crept back in a little bit since then. And which is not surprising when they've had no coaching whatsoever. You know? But I think Rodon is just so much more composed, and you can see the quality there, and he's confident, and he doesn't panic. He's the guy we needed. He's
a level above, isn't he? You can see it in his composure on the ball and everything. Like, even when he's going up for a header, the timing of his jumps are impeccable nearly. It's everything about him just kind of, yeah. We both have some today, apparently.
That's it. Skip just saying,
go on.
Skip saying Strike looks more confident next to Rodon. I absolutely agree.
Yeah,
he looks like a new man.
Yeah,
he looked finished start of the season when he got put back in centre back, and he looked finished.
Yeah,
I didn't think I'd want to see him play for us this season there as a first choice player after those early performances, but he's really settled down with Rodon.
To be fair, like we always said it throughout last season and the season before, or mostly last season, if you play players in their position, it's amazing what will happen to the team around them. And your man playing him at left back the whole time was, look, you had the option of holding on to Jamie Shack or someone like that, and you could have potentially used him at left back or someone else. But Bielsa had actually turned Strike into he was a good centre back as it was, but he turned him into a really good ball playing centre back.
Yeah, he did.
And he lost all that going out on the left hand side, and it's hard to get into a rhythm when you're completely out of position and then thrown back into your position.
Yeah,
because
it's a different position is a different mentality. The way you approach the game is different, so it does affect everything you do.
Yeah. You tend to be more wide when you're out in the fullback zone, like, and to try and just get your head around a certain area again and to be coached properly it's tough. Like, it's you know, it can't be easy for him.
Good point from Nick. He's just saying Strike's confidence was through the floor last season, but he was surrounded by a load of crap. Pretty much says it all, doesn't it? Bang on.
Well, it nails your point to the wall, where he seems to be more comfortable around Rodon now, and
that's it.
It's something that we have to kind of look at and go, right, Coops is going to struggle now. But just going back to the game, I thought everything about it at the moment was just pure class. After that initial 10 minutes, there was never any point at which I thought the defence was going to concede a goal. There was a few, hairy moments.
I was worried a few times.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say there's a few hairy moments, but not to the extent of the opposition playing the ball over our right back to play in 2 or 3 players all at once or anything like that. It was a lot of it came from our own sloppy passing where Ampadu played it into midfield, and then there was just one ball over the top, and then there was another one where it was a Rodon tried to play out and he got caught on the ball.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put them down to defensive errors, but I would put them down, or I wouldn't put them down to Millwall being in any way good in their attack. So that's why I think there wasn't any time that I was worried, because we did recover quite well, even Pascal clearing it off the line for the foul.
They had a good effort though
committed.
in the first half. They had a good effort. Where Longman, who had that shot that Melia saved.
Lot was left, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they did carry a bit of a threat, but as you say, it were more of us being masters of our own demise, wasn't it? We undid ourselves and presented chances rather than them being particularly brilliant.
Yeah, I would say that from maybe about the 10th minute in. All right, yeah, I would have said exactly that. But look, at the end of the day, I think the way we're playing now and the way we're starting to gel as a unit, that front four is absolutely frightening.
I mean, I'm glad our mate Richard's in the comments. He's having a good time again.
Come on,
I mean, hey,
who are we to argue with that?
That's it. If that's what he wants to tell us,
yeah, absolutely.
I liked that bit when Bill ended up on the deck and he used his head while he was laid on the floor.
It was brilliant.
It was genius, yeah. And they were all complaining from ball. He never touched it.
To be fair,
I don't know how he never touched it, but he didn't.
The ref got it spot on, but if he didn't get it spot on, he would have got absolutely killed, because he was in a perfect position to get it right.
Yeah.
The
ref wasn't actually too bad today.
Jesus, I thought Millwall could have had about 3 yellow cards in the first half. If honest,
but he didn't sort of deny us anything obvious or screw us over that I noticed.
Well, yeah, that's the point I was going to get onto there, is that Ailing incident on the floor using his head led to the counter attack for our goal, where they felt that Pyro was fouling, was it Nesbitt, their player?
God, can't remember.
But then it was he got that right, but then there was instances where Willie Nanto got absolutely floored. And he wouldn't even give a free kick, let alone a booking. And the same guy, Nanto called him on it. He called him for, he did it. That's the second time now, and you've still nothing, And he was a Premier League referee as well. So this is the thing. He would you maybe think, oh, he's sitting there waiting for VAR to get in his ear and tell him, that's an actual foul, you fool.
Yeah. The only thing that I thought were really contentious were the handball from them, but. The commentators instantly dismissed it, as they do when we seem to be in the EFL and listening to him. Because he's like, oh, his arm were by his side. I mean, it were kind of out a bit for me. It was perfectly by his side. It were one of them that you could have seen given or not given to me.
Yeah.
But the way they instantly dismissed it, no, his arm was by his side, so it's definitely not handball. It's just that would have been looked at for about 5 minutes in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. But it's
it'd probably have been given if it were other way. So, because it normally is.
Well, look, at the end of the day, I think we need to hopefully retire that Neil Warnock clip soon enough. If those London performances carry on like that,
If they keep going, yeah.
Yeah.
We're in London. That's the fucking difference.
At Millwall as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is funny. Just in relation to the game, I did... make a note that Millwall started coming back into the game in the 28th, 29th minute, where they started just to get a foot on the ball. There's a couple of good chances where they kind of broke away, but again, like we were saying, the defense looks a lot more solid than previous years, and we didn't give up much. I thought Willie Nanto covered back very well when he was playing on either wing, and even Rutter for a change. I think his tracking back was phenomenal today. Whenever
I thought he was really good today.
Yeah, he's very much the focal point of attacks at the moment, when we get it in and around the halfway line, center circle, he's the one that we try and use as a guide to where to go next, you know. So if he's making a run somewhere, he's obviously now the defenders are looking at him going, right, okay, he's you know, we need to keep an eye on him, but he's taking 2 players at a time nearly.
He's become
now.
A threat, and he's a big lad, so they're having to double up on him, and it's tricky as well.
Yeah, there was a few instances there in the second half before he got his goal where he had his back to goal, but he was being manhandled as well and thrown to the ground. And I was kind of looking at it. I was like, I know he's a big lad, but there's only so much he can do when it comes to holding the player off before you have to look at it and go, hold on now a second. That, you know, I'm all for a physical game, but he's literally thrown him to the ground twice there, like, you know, and nothing given. Like, and then in the first half when he was away through just before, you know, the halftime whistle, and your man took him out. And it's like, I wasn't screaming for, you know, a red card or anything, but a free kick at least.
Oh man, I'll tell you what. Yeah. Like you say, there was a couple of those.
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, I thought the ref were all right overall, but yeah, there was a couple of things he could have give. But if you don't come away feeling like you've been done over, then it's usually not too bad a performance, is it, overall? But I mean, Rutter, though, as we say, he's just like a different player, and he's gone from being somebody that you dread seeing on the pitch to somebody that now you're getting a bit excited about.
Dread seeing him on the pitch.
Well, you did, didn't you, at one point? Because it were like, oh, Jesus.
I never dreaded seeing him on the pitch, but I did kind of wonder who else we could put on instead of him. But
when he was being played striker and there was no one else to be put there, and he doesn't look like a natural striker, so he just didn't ever feel like a good idea, did it? He just thought, oh God.
But look at the team, like you said earlier, the team that was around him, the creativity that was around him didn't exist because it was a case of get the ball forward. If we lose it, you know, further forward and we win it back quickly, then we can get in on goal. That's not tactics, man. That's schoolyard football. Like, and if you put a striker up front who's actually been playing something similar to actual football in Germany, that'll happen to anyone. You couldn't put Messi in that team last year and ask him to perform. Like, there'd be no way.
Oh,
so,
Jesus. Is that true? Hang on.
What? 7
weeks for Spence?
Apparently, yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Sorry, go on, mate.
No, it was all right. It was an innocuous knock on the knee, apparently. But yeah, 7 weeks he's out for now, man. That's
the Leeds curse.
Look, man.
Any new signing?
Well, look, we're kind of lucky in the way that he's the only new signing that's actually come a cropper at the moment. Like, so
yeah,
you know, touch wood and all that. Like,
well, let's hope Ayling continues with his renaissance.
Yeah. Just on to one or two things. Do you feel that Somerville needs to control himself when it comes to silly fouls in areas of the pitch that don't really matter? I did notice there was a few of them today. Like,
yeah, he's still got a bit of attitude that needs coaching out. But to be fair to him, he was getting fouled a lot as well.
Yeah.
So it was probably a bit frustrated. But yeah, that's something that the manager has to sort of try and get out of him. But people are who they are. He'll learn eventually, because if he keeps doing stuff like that and there becomes a better option to play there, he'll lose his place.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, and with the likes of Anthony and James sitting there in the wings waiting to get on, like, it's one of those things like that he needs to, like you said, curb a bit. Like, but look, we'll have to wait and see. He played awful well today in spells. I thought, Jesus,
he did. He had some good bits.
Yeah, he's definitely maturing into a good little player compared to the way he was last year. It was more gung-ho last year rather than control.
Yeah, I mean, last season he still felt like an under-21 that were getting a run in first team, whereas now he feels a bit more like a proper first team player. But there's obviously still little behaviours and bits of his game that he needs to sort of improve, or things that he'll either learn with time or he'll get coached out of, hopefully. But he does look a lot more solid as a prospect for a starting place than he did a season or so ago,
Oh, I definitely think
he's definitely a talented player.
Yeah.
And he does track back a little bit more now. When he first got into the team, he never did at all.
I think a lot of people will probably kill me for this, but sometimes getting relegated can mean getting the best out of players that wouldn't necessarily have shone under the pressure of trying to keep Leeds in the Premier League, whereas they are Premier League level, but they're just shy of the likes of Somerville composure and bits and bobs like that. That maybe the year with Leeds in the Championship is probably going to be the best thing for the club and the player at the same time.
Possibly, yeah. Development-wise, it's got to help players like that. Like you say, they've got the talent, they're good enough, but being a good player who's got the ability is a complete separate thing to being able to carry a struggling team in the Premier League. There's too much pressure, and if you're one of the flair players in a team, then a lot of that expectation is heaped on you because you're expected to make things happen. Yeah. It's a lot for young players.
It is a lot for young players, but I think if he can get that side of his game sorted, I think it's one of those things. He's just like, he can be a bit of a petulant child, like so can Willie. They need to just understand not every foul is going to go in your favor, and because you're such a skillful player and you're skinning these guys who are seasoned pros in the Championship, you're going to get kicked and you're going to get booted about the place a bit. Like, but again, that can come back to the time we saved English football and just said, here, bring back the old B team rather than the under 21s. You know what I mean? But
that time when we solved it all on the podcast,
fixed it completely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I overall in the first half, I thought, bar the first 5-10 minutes, I thought absolutely fantastic stuff there today. And I thought Byram getting forward, no problems there at all. Like, you've got Ampadu who's sitting back deep. Yeah, sit a little deeper and play as a back three when Byram and Ayling go forward. I quite like that. I think it's something that we should probably utilize more, because Ampadu has played at centre back a little bit in his career as well. So it's not it's a position that he's going to get caught out in if we do decide to push forward a little bit.
Absolutely.
The only thing I'd be worried about there is that it'd leave Gray kind of exposed in the middle of the park on his own a little bit. But you can push about the place and figure that out along the way. Like, but yeah,
I'll tell you what, though, Ampadu has very quickly become an important player for our team, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Like, it feels like we couldn't do what we do without him.
Yeah, it's
kind of become the natural successor to Calvin, maybe.
Well, to be fair, he's not doing a job too dissimilar to what Calvin did, like, except he's doing it in a pivot, like. But
I'd be more worried if he got injured at the moment than any of the other players, I think.
Yeah, you see, the only thing that would worry me about that is that Kamara hasn't had time to settle into the side as much yet. And he would probably be the natural kind of replacement in there for Ampadu or even Gray if the swaps came, like we saw today. But
he got some minutes today, didn't he? He nearly scored.
Yeah. So
that'd have been nice.
Yeah. So you kind
Although I did predict 3-0, so it would have ruined it.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? But yeah, no, I'd like the centre of the park. We seem to be the strongest we've been for quite some time now, I think, with the players we have on the pitch and the players that we have on the bench that can definitely do a job for us regardless.
Yeah.
And we just have to see going forward how they fare out when they do get their chance,
Yeah, and last season we were so bare. If anyone in the middle got injured, we had nothing.
Yeah, we were very reliant on. Yeah, we were very reliant on Tyler Adams last year, and when he went, you could see the clusterfuck that actually happened in midfield. Then, you know what I mean.
Our entire game plan for survival last season died with Tyler Adams' injury.
Yeah,
it really did. There was no one else that could break up play and get the tackles in like he did. His passing was shit. You can't really dispute that. But the way he broke up attacks and protected the defence was like nobody else in the team last season could do that.
Like, I think we probably shouldn't have played him after the Newcastle game. Because it was 2 games later that he got injured then, and he said he was feeling it in the Newcastle game.
Yeah.
But again,
we carried on flogging him.
Yeah, but again, that's down to bad management on the part of who was in charge, so that's the way I look at it. Like, but
fucking ridiculous.
He was gone for the best part of 4.5 months of the season, like, so You could look at that and blame that, but look, we're in the situation we're in now. We just got a 3-0 win at Millwall away.
I know.
Let's carry on
a
talking
second
about
clean
that.
sheet in a row, a win in London. They can all piss off. And how good was that first Pirro goal as well? What a finish that was. Just with a guy on him, and he's just so composed. And he's just like foot to foot, bang.
It was the same foot. He controlled it with the outside of his right foot.
Did he?
I thought finished it with the instep. No,
but it was just such a great finish, and I wrote something down about what a difference having an actual proper striker makes, because we have got into those positions so many times the last couple of years, but there's been no one to finish it off, and it's just either we'll fluke a goal or somebody will eventually score or whatever. But when you get stuff like that, and it's by no means an easy goal, but you've got a guy there that can make it a goal, somebody that can pull it out of nothing and bang it away.
It looked effortless when Nanto got on the ball and the stride into the box to just dummy it for Rutter to take the ball on. Yeah. His first touch, absolutely sublime. It's to me, that's more instinctive than it is anything else, because he's in a tight position. He regardless of anything, if you've played football, you know yourself, you don't have a lot of time to think about those kind of touches or that kind of thing in the situation. You instinctively do one or the other. Yeah. And it just comes naturally to him by the looks of it. Like he's not getting out of anything,
Yeah, absolutely. Danny's saying Pirro can stay in the 10 all season if he's going to score goals. Can play anywhere he wants, mate, if he's going to score goals.
Yeah, absolutely.
I made a note on the second goal as well, and it was just basically what a difference it makes having somebody who's just in those positions. He knows where to be. And like the play in that second goal was ace as well. Like the pass from Ampadu was fantastic.
It's unreal that we've found this player that had been on loan the last 3 seasons at 3 different clubs, 4 seasons, and no one has taken a chance on him. No one, and I don't like
£7 million.
But that's the thing, that you haven't heard anyone say, "Oh, he's a bad attitude," or "There's this," or "There's that," and it's like, what is he not doing in these other teams that he's doing for us? That he just looks, he's getting all the plaudits, like, you know what I mean? It's mad, and
some of the Sheffield fans sort of slagged him off a bit when he came up. Yeah, they said, he wasn't great for us.
But they forget he was only bleeding 19 when he was with them or something. Like, so you're kind of looking at it going, well, he's only 22 now.
22 now. He was with them last year, wasn't he, or a year before?
No, it was the year they got relegated.
Was it the year before?
Okay. Yeah, the year they got relegated.
Fair enough.
Well, that was it. Like his 4 loan spells, he got relegated with 4 clubs. So I kind of like,
yeah, he'd become like a black cat to like most managers are just like, I don't trust that. Bad luck.
See, I don't get that, man. Back home, black cats are good luck, like. So
I've got 2 of them. I think they're great, but
nothing like a bit of bias there, Anthony.
No, of course not. And I have so much good luck, so it can't be them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's like you say. It's like when I play Football Manager with a couple of mates, there's 3 of us playing.
Yeah.
And all the best players, we're all after the same players, and you kind of think it's going to be like that in real life. Do you know what I mean? Like, you think all these clubs that have all these scouting networks and all these people involved, like, how do you find players like that who are just hiding in plain sight like that, and nobody's sort of seeing them as that guy? So why does our scouting team see him as that guy, And they've played a blinder because they're bang on. So they're doing something right for me, and it's a hell of an improvement from that fucking idiot that we named our pod after.
You live and you learn, Jay,
We're going through the 4th wall now.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Just on the second goal, and you mentioned Ampadu's great ball to James. I thought James, I'll be honest. Yeah, but look at Dr. Cox 2022 or 22-22, right? he'd probably get a chance there now. Their midfield is absolutely
He probably
shocking.
would actually. Yeah,
He'd probably
would.
based off the performances for us at the minute, he'd be getting recalled off alone if we didn't pay for him.
Yeah, he would,
Yeah.
And then he'd be getting all the plaudits as this exciting Chelsea youth prospect that's come through the ranks.
Another Ben White, and we'd be like, "Why?"
Yeah, that's it.
But anyways, like just to go back to the goal, you mentioned Ampadu's great ball to James. Now, when James got on the ball and he had Pyro and he had Rutter either side of him, I was begging him to make the Rutter pass. And we've seen what can happen sometimes when James gets in those particular positions.
He gets a bit excited, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, that was the thing. He even got a bit ahead of himself and wasn't able to finish the ball, but he did class as an assist, like for Pyro. But it's nice to see him making
about that.
It's nice to see him making the right choice there and getting into the areas that he should be getting into. But again, it's just fierce unlucky. Like he was so fast, he just got in front of the ball. Like it's just
that's it.
But then at the same time, it was an assist.
Someone put in the comments something about it was great how he faked a diving header to play that ball. But I've forgotten where it's gone now. I don't know who said it.
Oh, yeah, that'd be about right, yeah. That would definitely be about right, yeah.
It was great, though. I jumped up. I was like, get in!
Oh, yeah, absolutely brilliant. Like, and then...
We needed that second goal because we did have a couple of moments. And you know what we're like? We expect to concede, don't we? So it settled us a lot, that.
Yeah, it did, to be fair. And you could see that we were still very much confident of everything we were doing whenever we were on the ball, Do you want to read that on it?
Yeah, Paul's just saying Ampadu is a class act. He's over 40 caps for Wales. And remember, when the bloke who does the commentary, I was going to say documentary then, the bloke who does the commentary for the Wales team said Leeds United have a gem. He's followed him since he was 17. Can't argue with that.
No.
Just looks amazing, doesn't
he? He's unreal, to be fair. And it's funny, the fact that we seem to have got like an actual midfield general for the first time since Calvin's left. Yeah. And he's wearing the number 4, which is mad. So, that's not the worst thing on the planet.
He's the latest in a long line.
Yeah, but he seems to be the one who's able to carry the burden of the number 4 shirt as well, So
he doesn't look phased, does he? He's just composed and calm. He doesn't look. It's just like he's just goes out and does it, not bothered.
Yeah,
in his stride.
Yeah, he's very. He gives you that sense of calm when he's on the ball. Now, granted, he did give 1 or 2 away today with misplaced passes or whatever, but you can take that out. Man, out of the amount of passes and dispossessions he made today, you'd forgive 2 or 3 misplaced passes because they didn't lead to goals in the end. He'll eventually iron all that kind of stuff out, and it'll be stuff you'll see less and less and less and less, and then you'll be like, Jesus, can you remember the last time you misplaced a pass? You know what I mean? And
yeah, exactly.
There'll be chat like that then.
We've gone from last season where we had a midfield where no one could pass.
Yeah.
And then this season we've got Ampadu, who's probably passed more times than the rest of them last season put together already. He was just, he's just a complete night and day compared to the people we had last year. It sounds like Rocker's doing all right now out of all those idiots. But apart from that, we're massively better off than we were, I think. I would even go as far as saying I'd rather have this team in the Premier League than what we had last year. We might be fucking fighting relegation all season, but these players are honest, decent players who put the effort in and they want to be here.
Yeah, I do have to agree with you in certain aspects there. I think the squad is probably stronger this year than it was last year.
I think so.
And I think there's a lot more players who actually want to be there to play for the shirt rather than coming just because it's the Premier League and it gives them an opportunity and big wages.
Seriously, right, Carl?
Mm-hmm.
Just to stop you in mid-flow, how much would you rather have Archie Gray than superstar Weston McKennie?
Well, that's simply yes, of course.
A 17-year-old kid versus this guy who's meant to be this amazing American midfielder who's played for Juventus and he's fucking awesome. All this box-to-box midfielder bullshit. Then he boxes egos between the fucking takeaway boxes.
Yeah, I genuinely wouldn't swap Archie Gray for Weston McKennie in any parallel universe that football is played in. It just would not happen.
I'm gonna have to try and get that cut up so we can make it so you're saying that you would swap him and then bang it out on Twitter.
I will absolutely come. You will be under your car fixing something.
Absolutely, mate. With the jack let off.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Well, what? Let it down, is it? Right. So, it's an accident, I swear to God, Garrett. So yeah, then with Pyro off and Kamara on, just before that we had Ayling to James to Rutter again.
Yeah.
Rutter's finish was quite good. I thought James could have.
It was ace.
I was honestly, after my first comment there about James and his final ball and all that, I genuinely wanted him to play it in front of the two defenders rather than behind them.
Yeah.
To arch that kind of ball in where all Rutter had to do was step onto it in his stride. But the touch from the defender was kind for Rutter. So I think it gave him the time to take his touch and compose himself and finish very, very well. You could see the smile in his face. He was delighted. Like,
absolutely.
It's like watching your nephew score a goal or something. You know what I mean?
You can't be angry, can you? You just got to be really happy for him. He just looks so happy about it. You can tell that obviously means something to him. He wants to be here playing for Leeds. He knows that he's got an amazing opportunity here. Yeah, absolutely. And then it's amazing just having a coach who actually coaches football. No, I don't like to bang on about it or anything like that, but it's stating the obvious, I know. But, actually coaching football and showing them where they're meant to be and what they're meant to be doing is it's very important. It's important. When you have a direction and an understanding as to how the rest of the team are going to play around you. Exactly. It's
amazing what'll happen.
There's just so much. You can't overstate the importance of good coaching. You just can't. Yeah. It's all right having a team of superstars and saying, "Oh well, you lads know how to play football. Go out," and they'll probably beat most teams if they're top players. But they come up against any kind of competition and they're going to crumble because they won't have the understanding of what they're supposed to be doing. They won't have a philosophy. You've got to coach out the players. You have to stamp your print on it. You have to tell them this is what I want you doing, and you fucking work on that till they're doing it. And Farke seems to be making great strides with these guys. Since the window's shut and the squad's settled, that's it now. Full steam ahead.
I think you're spot on there, man. I think the manager has to go to them. It's like, this is how my brain works. And this is how your brain is going to start working, because if your brain doesn't work the same as mine, everything isn't going to work. So they're clearly on the ball with that kind of way of thinking and that mentality, and it's an all for one rather than get it forward and someone will pick it up there when it breaks down. It'll be grand. Don't worry about
it. Let's all laugh at Everton.
Oh, have Everton conceded? Jesus. I'm glad to see Jack is having a great time, but there, not fighting relegation.
Oh, I'd be loving it, picking up his wage packet. Groove came on as well, didn't he, later on? Made a debut. A few minutes under his belt. So we had Joffy came on, Groove came on, Kamara came on. Kamara nearly scored. I don't remember seeing the other two doing much. Did Joffy take a free kick?
No, he stood over a free kick.
My international radio froze at that point.
Did it?
As it did when the pass went in for Rutter that he scored from. It froze, and I was like, "No!" I was up out of my seat, like, "What?" And then I changed the channel, and I was like, "He scored, yes!" But I missed it, so I had to watch the replay. And I was thinking it's going to freeze during the replay now, isn't it? But no, luckily it worked. But
Kamara looked all right when he came on. Got on the ball and he was very much in the I want to get up the field type thing. Played in Anthony for one or two. I thought Anthony was unlucky. Did he?
Yeah, he came on too, didn't
he? Yeah, did he get clipped for his effort in the box? He didn't call for a penalty now himself, but the replay was kind of inconclusive because the cameraman was a bit more ahead of the play, so I didn't really see if Anthony kicked the ground or whether it was a clip of the heel from the Millwall defender.
Oh yeah, I think he kicked the ground, but
how was it?
I only vaguely remember it now because I saw him sort of go over, but I don't recall seeing a replay.
Right.
So I'm assuming that he kicked the ground, but I'm not
Fair
entirely
enough.
certain on that one.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah,
You know what these international radio stations are like, Carl? They can
be a bit dodgy at the best of
yeah,
times, can't they?
in and out sometimes. In and out.
Yeah. Do you want to go through a few comments there, Jay? Just see other people have.
I've got some set aside here. Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Looking after
Good
these
man.
guys. Here we go. So we'll start off with Danny Rumsey. He said, "Jammy, I'm going to save my judgment. See where we are after Xmas." Wise words.
Yeah. Not getting ahead of yourself.
Thomas Colmer says Gray was good again. Can't argue with that one. Nick G, I've smashed and liked, so it better be good. Well, I hope we're living up to your expectations, mate. We're trying our best here. We're trying our best. Difficult circumstances.
Yeah.
Pod regular Paul, he's always there. Love him. Cheers, mate.
Hi, Paul.
Says hello to all. You're all absolutely buzzing on top of the world. Not often the Peacocks can fly into the Lion's Den and taste sweet victory. All Leeds, aren't we?
Absolutely.
The Lion's Den. More like a fucking badger hole.
Badger hole, yeah.
Useless. Fucking useless. Now that's a genuine green screen. No frills, Nick says. I feel attacked. So the story behind this is just basically there would have been even more technical demons if I'd tried to make it work. So I just left it. The PC is doing something weird and it's not my friend at the moment. So
it's a good choice.
There
today.
you go. Paul says, gentlemen, what a result. First win at Dentist 2012. All Leeds, aren't we? Marching on together. I meant to get rid of that one and I've shown it again. Skip said 3-0 away with a clean sheet in London. First win at the Den 12 years. Farke had never won a game at the Den. I didn't know that. No injuries. Are we sponsored by Carlsberg? Jesus Christ, don't say that, mate, 'cause we'll end up with it in bar.
Fun.
Simon Colley says, hi all, what a result. Feeling real good for the season now. Yeah, definitely feeling better after that. Abdul Rahim, I think he's taking the piss, says congratulations to the championship. And he called you Pod. Thinks your name's Pod.
It's all right, Abdul. Don't worry about it.
Kev Marston, another regular. He said, I'd like to bottle the feeling from today and have a sip every weekend. That's kind of what I do, Kev, but it says Smirnoff on the bottle, but it's very similar. Very similar.
It can very much determine how the hell the rest of your weekend's going to go, just like Leeds United.
It can determine how the hell a podcast is going to go. Nick G says up to 10th, feeling a bit lightheaded. Hey, playoffs, here we come.
Yeah.
The table is actually starting to look a bit better now, isn't it? Now we've moved a little. Nick again says the new boys, Anthony and Kamara, looked okay in the short time they were on. Yeah, I think we covered that. I think they both looked all right, to be fair. Yeah. Not much time to shine, but nobody gave me any cause for concern.
No, but there was very much involvement from the pair of them between Kamara trying to burst forward and break things up in midfield and playing in Anthony for one or two. And just not to be positive there. Like I said, they just need time in the starting 11 at some point to get a grip of the championship, you know.
Definitely. It'll be interesting to see how Anthony develops in our team because there's potential for him to be a really good player. Even though we're very underwhelmed to get him in the deal in the manner that we did. That's not his fault. And apparently he was very, very good for him in Championship last year.
He started 42 games, and he started the first 3 games of this season and already had 2 assists or something. So I don't know why they let him go. Like
they probably were told that were the only way they were getting Cine, and they decided Cine would be better than him. So let's do it. Jokes on them when he only plays about 5 games this season.
I was waiting for him to come off the bench today and train out for 6 months.
You could see it, couldn't you?
God, yeah, he actually came on as well.
Andy A-Law says, Ampadu man of the match, so consistent in his performances. We'll have a little discussion about that at the end, I think. Jamie says, Farke seems to be creating a good atmosphere, a good team atmosphere. Can't argue with that one. Andy A-Law says, how mad is it? Leeds at the Den, no cards. That is interesting, isn't it? To be fair, I said the ref had done all right, but he probably should have had a few cards out for them.
Yeah.
Now I've had time to think about it, and I saw somebody comment about how Longman should have been sent off, they said. But I remember we were about to go through, weren't we? Was it Pirro or was it Rutter? I can't remember.
Say that again.
Sorry. Was it Pirro or was it Rutter about to go through? And one of them, they got fouled, didn't they? But the ref didn't give anything. It was the last man.
Rutter in the first half where he was going through, and it was a ball over the top. Yeah,
and he gave nothing, and that was a foul for me.
Yeah. That's the one I was on about earlier on. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it is a bit mad.
Yeah,
you have to revise my judgment on that ref.
Yeah,
my internet.
Well, yeah, it's freezing there. Maybe it was mine. I don't think it's mine. Can anyone comment?
Track record says it's probably mine, but you know. Simon Collier says 11 years apparently. I think it means since we won there. I did actually load in for this, which showed our previous record there.
There it is.
That is fucking depressing.
That is awful, man.
I mean,
awful.
Why were we so crap for so long and letting teams like that lord it over us? It blows my fucking mind, man. We've got a comment from, I don't think we've seen Dremit on before, but it's a big shout from Croatia. Listened on the beach and made a few people jump, I think he means, when they first went in.
Good man. That's stuff.
I watched the Brentford game when we stayed up in the lobby of a hotel near Manchester before flying out on holiday the next morning. And they had no TVs in there or anything, so it was fairly relaxed. I had my iPad on the desk. And when we scored, I jumped up in the fucking air in that. I went, yes! I was like, ah! You know, I was just fucking through my pint. There's all these like families like looking at me like, what's going on here? And I was just like,
nice.
Sat back down again, like, sorry. But it was ace. Like, you can't hide it, can you? The passion. When Leeds score, you're going to celebrate no matter where you are.
You're going to lose your mind.
That's right. Andy Aylaw says, do you lads think we'll make changes for a whole game with it coming around so fast? I would say possibly. I would say that may be why some people got some minutes at the end there.
I think it's going to be more a case of the same starting 11, but I think depending on where we are in the game, he'll take players off earlier. The likes of Gray. He'll bring Gray off a lot earlier. I'd imagine maybe 60 minutes.
Yeah.
The likes of
it could go either way, really. You don't want to disrupt a winning team, do you? But you don't want to knacker them.
There is that, and I think with a quick turnaround again on Saturday against Watford, I think he is going to start the same 11 against Watford as well. But again, if you're only giving Gray 60 minutes, he has half an hour, and then there's recovery time in between Wednesday and Saturday because they'll take the next day off after the whole game and just do
they've got a long rest, haven't they?
Who?
Hull.
I don't know.
I saw something that said they
played
more
Friday.
Rest. Yeah, they have more rest time than we do.
Yeah.
Are they playing
they
during
played
the
Friday
week?
night. Well, Hull we're playing Hull during the week.
Yeah, no, I'm getting confused between which games when. Ignore me.
Hull is Wednesday.
It's on Wednesday, isn't it?
Watford is Saturday.
For some reason, I thought we were playing them Saturday in the Watford before that. I had them back to front in my head.
All right, yeah.
I'd have turned up at Elland Road Wednesday, been over there.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Here for the game.
Like being group, like where are you all?
Oh, you can tell we're back in the championship. No fuckers here.
Got parked, no problem.
Yeah. No queues, no nothing. Peacock empty.
Dr. Cox is saying the squad has more depth than last season's. Last season's donkeys, all they cared about was the money. They had no desire, nor man enough. Can't argue with that.
Absolutely.
Nick G says Millwall manager was in fourth officials here the whole game. Farke was just calm and got the job done. That's what he does.
Yeah,
that's what he does. He just
seems
to be.
Yeah, it seems to be very kind of Bielsa-esque in his mannerisms and how he answers questions, and he seems to be a little bit more. He'll have a slide dig at officials rather than
rather than going 2-footed on them.
Yeah, that most managers might, you know.
He's like
nice.
He's not concerned what everyone else is doing, is he? He's just concerned what he's doing.
Yeah,
and he's just able to just not let stuff like that affect him, which I don't know how he does because everything affects me. But you know,
not even in the position he's in. Like, imagine you in that position, you have no hair left.
Oh man, I had a crumbled in minutes on TV, probably.
I'd be all right as long as there's no spreadsheet.
I would lose my rag and I'd start like ranting on TV about stuff, and I'd just end up like a meme or a fucking joke or something.
You'd be Kevin Keegan 2.0.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. I'd just lose my rag. I'm just going to pull up the table after that, just while we're here.
Sure.
Some fancy trickery. There we go. We only need the top half because we're 10th.
Yo, boy. There you go.
But look at Preston, man. They're on fire, aren't they?
Ah, come on. Let's be honest, man. You know.
There's always somebody, though, isn't there, that starts
always,
like that and then they fall away. Always.
There's always one.
And it's usually whoever's top initially.
Yeah.
They will start and they'll be great. And then
they'll finish
2 months
7th.
in or so, they'll start to fall away and become inconsistent. So hopefully that's what's going to happen to them, because we need to be up there. So
it's a tight out top half, to be fair. Like,
but yeah, it's looking a lot more positive than it did 1 or 2 games ago.
Yeah.
It just looked like we're miles away. And even though there's a fair gap to the top, I'm not worried. There's a long time to go, and we're playing good football.
There's 40 games to go. Like,
exactly. So I'm not worried. Even I'm not worried, Carl. That's what I'm saying.
There was a guy on Twitter today completely writing us off after 5
really?
games. I was like,
it's over.
It said it was something like, oh yeah, people comparing us to Burnley last year after 5 games. Blah blah blah. We're finished already. We'd be lucky if we get playoffs. And I'm sitting there going, "You off your tits, man." I didn't even reply to him, like, because I was just like, "What on earth are you talking about?" Like,
it makes no sense. Football makes no
whatsoever.
sense. I've got to bring something that really amused me up, actually, but I don't have it ready, so you'll have to bear with me a second.
Right.
It's just coming to my head now. I saw some Millwall fans on Twitter going absolutely mental while our fans were giving them a nice little send off.
While you're doing that, I'll put it to the people in the comments, to the people listening and watching. Who is your man of the match? Straight up, don't whatever. But yeah, who was your man of the match today? I've got my answer.
Right, I'm gonna try and share this screen. Just bear with me a sec.
What are you trying to put up here now? Are you doing a tweet like type thing?
Yeah. Just showing Twitter. This is great. I really enjoyed this.
This is 2 minutes now. This guy here in the grey,
this
right?
One.
Yeah, your man there, right? I was watching it earlier, right? Do you know what he looks like about a minute in? He looks like a dog jumping at a fence, trying to get onto the fence.
It's when these two lads come in. Now, look, this is the bit I really like.
Yeah.
We need some David Attenborough here. And now we see the lesser spotted,
look at a
fat gammon having a go at his rival at the watering hole. He's unhappy at his prospects. And now he's joined by more of the pack. They gravitate towards the enemy.
Just your man there in the grey is priceless. He's absolutely priceless.
It's how angry they get. It's just how angry they get. I mean, I'm all for like shouting some bollocks at opposing fans and giving them some jip. That's all part of the game. But look how angry that man is. It's like
he's very angry.
How can you be that upset?
I don't know.
If we were losing 3-0 to them, I'd be that fucked off. I'd just quietly go off on my own, fuck off either to the pub or go home. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't be there like that, about to have a fucking aneurysm.
They should have just let us sing cheerio at them, and they should have just knackered off. It's as simple as that. Save yourselves the internet shame, lads, and just
we're being nice.
We're
being nice, giving them a sing song on the way home.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Jay, just I don't know how much longer you want to go on for, man, but
we'll wrap it up, mate. We'll wrap it up.
The comments after the who people's man the match is. Ampadu is getting a fair old shout there. Ampadu, Byram, Pyro for his goals.
I wish Allison stopped spelling Ampadu as Ampadu, though. She's upsetting me now. Come on, Allison, you're better than this. You're better than this.
Where's she done that? Ampadu. Ampadu, do. It's that song, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
There's a shout for Byram there from Danny Rumsey, but there's a lot of shouts for Ampadu.
Yeah.
Simon says Pirro for the goals.
There you go. Rodon is not a bad shout from Dr. Cox.
Yeah, Rodon also did well. I mean, a lot of players did well. I would struggle to pick a man of the match. I would probably give it to Pirro for the goals myself. Had he not scored, I'd probably give it to Ampadu.
I'm going to go with Rutter, if I'm being perfectly honest, which I thought...
It was on my list.
I thought that was, without doubt, his best performance for us. Without doubt. Yeah. And he shone today. When he got on the ball, he wanted nothing more than to get forward. He wanted nothing more than to initiate an attack. When he was playing out wide, he defended very well. It wasn't the lazy half-arse defending that we've seen, but that's down to who their coach was at the time. So I think for me it was Rutter. I think Rutter Hood was on target today.
Absolutely. I don't think Rutter Hood's going to take off though, Karl, if I'm honest. Jamie says, agree, Paul. Farke is very self-confident. I imagine he's a panther between the sheets.
And on that note...
I do love these insights that we get. I do love these insights.
Yeah, they're
I guess we'll wrap it up there, mate. We've gone on long enough, I suppose. Managed to maintain a nice base of decent people in our comments today who've kept us going. So thank you to you guys for turning up again. We'll be back. I imagine it's going to be Tuesday, isn't it? Then because we're playing Wednesday, so we'll be back before that game. Have a pod on the normal day.
Whole build up on Tuesday.
Yeah, that's it. Look ahead. Well, we'll probably look ahead to 2 games, won't we?
Yeah.
We'll look at Hull and Watford. So, not a clue who's on, but it's probably me.
Sure. Hold on. We'll have a look.
Go on. Are we going to tell the people?
We might tell them who's on, but like if Smarty's on, we might not have a. You know, he might. Oh no, it's during the week. During the week, he'll be sound.
Yeah, he'll be there.
He'll be sound.
No swinging on weekdays.
No Wales on the weekdays. So it's myself, yourself, and Luke.
Excellent. I had a feeling it would be. The dream team's back, and Luke's like leading us into the fray.
Leading us into battle.
I'll just bang up the Andy's Man Club graphic as well.
Oh yeah.
So we like to mention them. Good guys.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so you can find their details on our Twitter and stuff, or if you want to get put in touch with somebody from there or anything like that, you can give us a shout. Put them in touch with Lee if people shout up. But yeah, there's got a few events on. The Walk and Talk on the 24th. I think we missed the one for today, haven't we? And then there's the pool and snooker night at Northern Snooker on Kirkstall Road on 29th. Open to everybody. You can go along. You don't have to, you can go just to support a mate, even if you've got naught to say. And, as ever, talk to people. Don't keep stuff inside.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Give us a shout if you want putting in touch with anybody.
Yeah, we're always there.
In the right direction.
It's better to talk than to sit in silence.
Absolutely. And I think on that note, we'll probably call it a night, mate.
Yeah. Well,
so cheers for joining me, and cheers to everyone in the comments. Make sure you like it, or we might not come back.
Oh, yeah. And hit the bell button as well.
Do that too.